So it's really, it doesn't mind because it's not in the realm of a person. It's not a person. It's just this. It's not a man or a woman.
But the perception of the effortless space is influenced by the effort. That's why we've got religion. Right. That's why we've got Buddhism. This is the bridge that Alan keeps talking about.
Yeah, in a way, when it is seen from this, as it is from that effortless space or neutrality, but even the religion, it doesn't matter because religion itself, or different kinds of religions, they're just this neutrality, spaceless space appearing.
When it is seen from the effortless space. When it is not seen from the effortless space. Then the effort impacts. Or maybe it's all grace. Maybe it's all grace. Maybe it's random. I don't know.
Yeah, it's somehow in the story when this appears to be somebody who's living life, and then in the story it may seem as if it's not seen. You know, there may seem to be wrong or right in the story. Somebody looking, searching for the meaning of life, but that's too is just the totality also appearing as that. That's not to say that's as it is just something that is outside of this. It's not this. It's already this as it is. It's just this appearing as that as well. This is already what seems to be a passing and beyond.
It is already. But the perception of it. Anyway.
And there's no one to perceive. There's no one to perceive. And there's no one to recognize or to be enlightened. There's just this. You can say it's just perceiving, but there's no perceiver and nothing is being perceived. There's just seeing, there's no seer and nothing is seen. So it's like that.
Yeah.
It's already empty. It's already
This
empty.
reminds me of the story of the Krishna Murthy guy. Yeah. Not J. Krishnamurti, but the other Krishnamurti. I can't remember. I was telling you about who was old and dying, and everyone kept on saying, "You gotta teach us." It's like I'm just like you. No, you're not. You're so wise. Jesus was different. Buddha was different. And Kosi's different. Krishnamurti is different. On one level, there is no difference, but
Yeah.
the ability to perceive from the effortless appears to be an acquired skill.
Yeah, it's okay. You can go ahead.
It's a blessing. It's a blessing.
Yeah, this somehow expresses itself uh, according to that character, apparent character. You know, some it may express itself if that character is very, like aggressive. Somehow it may seem to be, even when the message is spoken, seem to. There's no one here. So this one is a little bit soft and polite, and
You are soft and polite. Very agreeable. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I've got so much energy. I've always had so much energy. And on some level, you know, intelligence and an odd sense of humor, you know, in a way that hurt a lot of people along the ways.
yeah,
But softness looks pretty good from where I'm sitting.
yeah, yeah. This doesn't mind because it's already everything. There's nobody to mind, and this doesn't say the other. This isn't talking to anybody because there is already nobody to talk to. There's just talking happening, listening happening, thinking happening. It's got nothing to do with anyone who's separate. It's just what appears to happen. It's just what seems to be happening. So even the sense of being somebody is just this nothing appearing as that. Somehow, when it's felt uh, that's what appears, or the sense of being somebody, when it's felt to be heavy, then there might be an investigation that as to what is it, who, or about the true identity of that sense, to find out who exactly that is. And that's what seems to be happening. It's just this also appearing as that. So even what seems to be the journey may seem to be enjoyed. The searching, investigation, sitting quietly, observing. That's too is also an expression of this. And this, as it is, can never be found because already there's no finder. There's just this. There's nobody to find this because there's just already this. This is whole and complete. It's not separate from itself. It's not separate that there may be somebody to look for it. Even that's what seems to be somebody looking for it is already everything appearing as that. So there's no separation. The searching is already happening from that space which is not searching. So the searching itself is already this appearing as searching. So if there's searching arising, then it may be uh, somehow investigated as to where is it arising from. So where it seems to be going, it's already where it's arising from. It's going nowhere.
I mean, this is the message that you came into Michael's group with that felt so radical to me. And, every it's there in others' writings as well, but it's always sort of parenthetical, you know. I think that was Buddha's first, observation was that, everyone was enlightened. But to take the striving out, to undercut the idea of striving totally and completely. There's no use in doing that. Was quite useful to me. It's just a matter of noticing and taking the time to notice. It's just practice. And that was a much deeper experience for me. You know, think about, it as some sort of athletic feat. It's kind of counterproductive.
Yeah.
Or special, to think of it as special. Unique, I mean, you know, something that only happens to the few.
Yeah.
2024, how long have we been doing this? It was 2020 when we started, right? 2021.
2021. Yeah.
2021. Midway through 2021? Yeah, maybe
Yeah, I
mid
think it was October.
October.
Um,
Oh, okay. So we've probably done like 120 of them or so.
I think 200 and I don't know.
200? No, we do it once a week. There's 50, about 50 in a year. So 15, 2023, 15, 2022, and, another 20 or so in 2020.
Oh yeah, I remember. I think I've also included those I did with Alice.
Oh, and Michael, yeah, yeah, yeah. So you've got 200 files.
Yeah, more than 200. I don't know if it's 260 or 260.
I never go back and watch them. Every once in a while, they're piling up on my hard drives and stuff. And every once in a while, will come some that are very old,
Yeah.
and think about watching them, but I don't somehow want to look back. It doesn't seem very productive.
But honestly, they are being watched. Yeah, apparently they are being watched. So many people, some they always wait for the new ones coming. And
Yeah. I mean, I upload the whole thing to mine. You just do snippets, but I upload the whole thing to mine and people watch them and I look at the stats sometimes and the average person who watches it for like a half an hour. It's not like people who just watch it for 2 minutes or 5 minutes. It's people watch it, so it's
yeah,
great.
beautiful. Yeah.
You should have a podcast. You know what a podcast is?
Yeah, yeah, I know.
I think you have to have a sponsor and you have to find the sponsor. And you have to figure out how to do it.
Yeah, that will be beautiful as well. Beautiful. So we have to like have mics, microphones.
I don't know. I don't. Yeah, our sound isn't that good. That's true. We should have
Mm,
microphones, external microphones. If we do that.
mm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Maybe
I
I'll
think
ask
it's a
Charlie.
great idea.
Yeah. Seems like Michael would be into it. That's the kind of thing seems like Michael would be totally into it. As a matter of fact, I'm surprised he hasn't done it already.
Yeah,
You should ask him.
yeah. I'll try. I'll talk to him and find out what
It's required.
he thinks.
Yeah.
Yeah, he will be very interested as well. Very interested. Yeah, he's very passionate, but the message as well. Mm. So how are the squirrels? Are they still charging whenever you're outside?
So Mitchell and I built this birdhouse for Melissa. Uh, so we built it. So it's pretty substantial. It's like, this wide and had two holes and two little sticks out where the birds could go in and feed. And we painted it kind of a nice dark brown. It was a lighter wood, but we painted it dark brown. And we hung it from a string outside of our window so that we could see. It's just beautiful, all these cardinals and stuff uh, go and eat, and they would look at us through the window when we'd sitting in the living room. Just wonderful. So that went on just fine for maybe 5 or 6 months until the squirrels found it, right? And the squirrels, there's a lid um that you open up and pour the birdseed in. That's the roof. It's like a pitched roof, and then one of the so they figured out how to open up the lid. Right. I'd anticipated it, so I put some Velcro on there, but the Velcro got old in the weather and they lifted up the lid and dumped out all the birdseed. So I got a little latch, right, to lock it shut after you pour the birdseed in. And I'll be right back. I gotta show you. It's hilarious. Give me 1 minute.
Okay. Oh, wow.
Squirrels ate their way through the little holes for the birds.
Oh,
First, they tried to like eat their way through here, the locked portion where they had been getting in. And then they took the hole where the birds were getting in and just ate around to make bigger holes so that they could fit through, completely
those are big
destroying the
holes.
birdhouse.
Wow.
It's totally funny.
Amazing.
Yeah. So then we took the birdhouse down, right?
Yeah.
Then the squirrels remember it's right outside of our windows, right? So the squirrels were hip to where the birdseed was. So they kept on coming back and looking for the birdseed, right? They come back and they're really jittery. And they'd look in the windows and they'd stare at us. And Tater just goes absolutely crazy with the squirrels, right? The squirrels are and they won't leave. It's been a few weeks now, and they keep on coming back, and there's no bird seed, and the dog goes crazy. We have to shut the blinds, or else the dog will just bark at the squirrels the whole time.
Wow.
It's it's very amusing. But it's been freezing cold here, actually. It's been around 0 Celsius. So I've been meditating inside instead of outside. But I meditate so I can look out the window at the trees at least.
Yeah.
But yeah, a little too cold to meditate outside.
Yeah. That's very cold.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's cold. But I like it. So it's a little different.
Yeah.
This morning there was frost on the windshield and I was scraping it off and frost got on my hand and I just, so much so that it gets a little numb. And it just reminded me of being a kid. So this soft spot in my whole heart for being cold.
So
Yeah,
you
in
used
Calif.
to play in the snow.
Oh yeah. Well, I used to have a paper route, which is a big part of my life. A paper route was when you deliver the newspapers to everybody's house. So
Oh
I would
yeah.
have one in the morning that took me like an hour and a half. So I would be out in the cold winter snow for an hour and a half every morning, walking from house to house. And a lot of times it was kind of in an area that was at the edge of town. So there was a lot of cutting through, you know, uh, forested areas, tree areas. that was a real, I didn't realize it at the time, but meditation for me as a kid, you just daydream and think and meditate and the trees, man, the trees and the snow. That's a whole new kind of still.
Yeah,
Does it ever snow there? I know, just not where you're at, but it snows inland, right?
yeah, especially in Cape Town.
Yeah.
Yeah, the other area, the other province.
But you never get to see it.
Cape Town and Eastern. Yeah, but it's very, it happens like very, it's not serious, not intense snow. It's just
Flurries.
no, it's minor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I see my sister in Asheville, it was snowing, but you couldn't even catch a snowflake. It's just all of this kind of blowing around, and it never accumulates on the ground at all. The minute it hits the ground, it melts.
Mm.
When I was a paper boy, we used to have it would snow and then it would melt a little bit and form water on top of the snow, and then it would freeze to have ice, and then it would snow again, and then that would melt, and then it would freeze. So it's like layers of a cake. When you step through it, it'd be like breaking through the layers
Yeah.
of ice and snow. It's deep, and you have to walk through that sometimes on your paper route. Like
Wow.
when you were like, 9. So it's like
It was enjoyed.
it was painful, but it was enjoyed. It was, we didn't have a television. My family didn't have a television or a car. So while everybody else was out watching TV, I was running around in the snow all the time, which was a blessing in retrospect. So I like the
Mm.
cold. I like the cold. I mean, I could probably a half an hour and 0 degrees is nothing, but it's when you're
Yeah.
sitting, it's a lot longer. So maybe I should
Yeah.
have a walking meditation. Maybe I'll try to do that. Do a walking meditation.
Yeah, that's also possible.
Yeah.
I remember when I used to do that, it would seem as if I wasn't working at all. Just
Yeah.
it was beautiful. Yeah.
So like if you go right through our backyard about 100 meters, there's a Baptist church. And that's maybe another, 100, 200 meters. And then there's a pasture with big cows. And then there's another pasture with miniature horses and ponies just right there by the side of the road.
Wow.
So maybe I'll go and visit the cows and the ponies. It's meditation in the morning. Good. And a lot of places in America they'll have hundreds together, but this one just has dozens in a very, very big area. So they're not they're roaming free, and you know they're not kept in inhumane conditions. It's not nicer.
There's a lot of forest around the houses. It's nice.
It's a
Nice.
big prairie area. They're in a big prairie area, and then there's forest around that. Yeah. So do you have
Yeah,
cows in South
it's
Africa around?
wow, the area where I live
Yeah.
now,
No. Well, you live in a very urban
this
area.
this it, yeah, it's very urban. It's very urban. But when I go to rural areas, yeah, you may find cows there, some horses.
But they're
Uh,
all people have them in fenced in, right?
yes,
Yeah.
yes,
See, in India, the cows will just be running around in the streets eating the garbage. Like, I'm not
yeah,
joking.
everywhere.
Yeah, they'll be in the streets eating the garbage. It's really amazing. Just like, there'll be like cars running around a corner and like, oh, don't hit the cow, just in the middle of, and people try to take care of people who, I don't know if they've got homes or not, but people take care of the cows and they're sacred, right? Cows are sacred in India. Um, and they seem to take care of them in the urban area without having a special place for them. It's very strange. Uh,
Wow. Anyone can take care of a cow. It doesn't have to be the owner.
I don't know. I I asked my Indian colleagues that, and they didn't know either. It would appear so. It would appear as if people are just, I don't know. It's very strange. Apparently, people will take care of cows and then they'll sell the milk to places that make yogurt and ice cream or have dairy products, which there's a lot of dairy products in Indian food. So I think I it got the impression it was a way for people who are really poor to be able to um, live, right? If the cow is eating the grass and making milk, and here they collect cans, right? If you have a can, you get a can of pop, and you take it back to the grocery store, they'll give you like a nickel. They'll give you a very so if you collect all of the cans from all the garbage cans and take it back to the grocery store, then you have just enough money to be able to buy beer or whatever. I don't know. or, or or fentanyl or whatever.
Wow. The, Here as well, they also do the same. They collect cans. When you've been drinking soda, they just ask you for a can and they take it to the scrapyard. They get some cash like
Yeah,
that. Yeah.
that's a tough life.
Mm. Beautiful.
A lot of my life, you know. I mean, I don't know if it's true or not. It's probably not true, but from a very young age, as Americans, we're taught that we're very, very lucky to be Americans. So lucky, yay! There's people and people would actually say, there's people in Africa that are hungry. You should feel guilty because there's people in Africa that are hungry. So finish your broccoli or whatever. And but there's also times, where you would see things like with war or whatever. And there was when I was growing up, there was a big famine in Ethiopia, and those kids would be on TV, and
Mm.
you spend a lot of time thinking about what life is like for those people, you know, comparing yourself to
Yeah.
them.
And
And the things
as
that
well, mm.
Well, I was just going to
Okay,
say
go
the
ahead.
things that you've been talking about, definitely sort of puts that into a different perspective. That's you over there experiencing that.
Yeah, here here in South Africa, things are different, you know. But as well, when I was growing up, I used to hear about wars in Rwanda, and you would see in the news like people dead, pile of bodies. Some bodies are rotten, you know. An Ethiopian as well. Used to hear of some hunger going on, people being hungry, receiving food via helicopters, dropping bags of people dropping bags from the planes, bags of food, maize meal. Yeah, yeah, I used to see that as well. But here in South Africa, things are a little bit different.
Well, you had apartheid, right?
Sorry?
You had apartheid, right?
Yeah, yeah, that's it.
That didn't sound like fun.
That was, yeah, it was there. It was there.
And you were
But
what? You were in your early 20s at the time, huh?
no, I think I was um 6 years.
Oh, really? When it ended?
Mm.
Oh, so you didn't experience it much.
Yeah, I didn't experience it much. Yeah, I was still very young. Still
I
very
thought I,
young.
I thought apartheid ended in the 90s. Huh. It's 80s, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, they say it's ended when Nelson Mandela was elected as a president in 1994.
94, right. Yeah.
Yeah.
You were 6 in 1994. You were not 6 in 1994.
No, no. I think I was 6 when he came out from the prison,
Ah, okay.
which was 1989, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
We used to protest apartheid on my college campus. We would all go and try to get the university to divest in South Africa, sit around and yell about it. Feel like better people.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we would hear people marching around, people who used to belong to a certain uh, parties. They're marching around, singing, you know, and doors will be closed, because my family was afraid that people might, because they were carrying sticks,
Yeah.
shambok, some carrying guns, knives.
Yeah, I don't think we had any guns or knives on campus at the university. So would they attack? Would they attack different places like governments and stuff?
Yeah, they would, because we would have uh, the party that was called IFP
Mhm.
and the ANC. So those parties they used to fight. If they know you that you belong to, if the IFP knows that you belong to NC, then they would fight you as a result of that.
Like in the street?
Yeah, if yeah, if they know, if like maybe you wear a t-shirt that
Right.
says you belong to a certain party, then they will fight for that.
Were they communist parties or what? What kind of parties were they?
Mm, I I had no idea at the
You
time
were
when
pretty
I
young, I
was
guess.
just,
Yeah.
yeah, I was pretty young. Pretty young. But the ANC party became was the one who was because Mandela belonged to ANC, so he was elected. So it's the one that is in charge right now ever
People are pretty
since.
mad about people are pretty mad about that too, right? People are pretty with the food shortages and stuff.
Yes, exactly, exactly. That seems to be going on even right now because also people are concerned about the load shedding, these power cuts, and water supply is limited as well because they are also blaming this the government for that.
The water's clean though.
Yeah, it runs out around 8 p.m. and then it comes back in the morning. But when it comes back, it comes back filthy, you know,
Yeah,
until it's
the
yeah.
pipes clean. Right, but I mean, can you feed it to children? You have to boil it before you feed it to children, obviously. But you can drink it right out of the faucet without boiling it.
Some they drink it like that, some they boil it.
You boil it?
Yeah. Uh, yeah, I usually boil it.
Yeah.
I usually boil it. It's the one I'm drinking right now.
Right, hot tea, yeah.
Yeah. So their things are different.
Yeah. Our water comes right out of the ground in our land. We pump
Oh
it,
yeah.
we pump it right from the well. Yeah.
Oh, wonderful.
It's always very clean.
So there are no chemicals in the water.
Not at all. None. No chlorine, no fluoride, nothing. Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
It's
Yeah,
funny, the massive variety that in ways that people live, and how different our lives have been on the other side of the world, you know.
yeah.
Just so much variety.
Yeah, this expresses beautifully, in various ways. And somehow life seems to be enjoyed here, no matter how it may seem to uh, present itself, you know, because it is seen that no matter how it appears, it's just the way it is. It's beautiful. Every expression is okay because really it's going nowhere. It's going nowhere. But when that this identifies itself with the apparent character, then it may seem as if, oh, sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad, but that's okay too. That's okay too.
I just find it very hard not to worry. It's gotten better in the last few years, but it's hard not to worry.
Yeah.
It's
When
the
you
paradox of
mean like,
having a nice house, right? You might lose it.
yeah, like for instance, when there's that thinking about weather conditions like tornadoes.
Well, that's what I do for a living. I help people worry about that stuff. You should be more worried about the tornadoes.
But worry itself, is somehow is okay, you know, when it is allowed to be as it is, when it's allowed to play out until it exhausts itself. But when there is something that is trying to get rid of it, it may seem to be a problem. Because even that which seems to be trying to get rid of the worry, and the worry, they are both problems. Those two are both the one who's trying to fix one. That one as well is a problem, another problem.
Yeah.
But it's a kind of problem that doesn't even exist. It's just imagined. Just a thought that is being bothered by another thought, which is really nothing.
Yes, there's a lot of that in America. My sense is that those type of problems, yes, generally, not always, but generally in America, we have more food, right? There's more security on some levels. And as those problems become lower, the imaginary problems get worse, I think. It's just natural. It's like the soul needs a heavy diet of worry. It's not going to get it worrying about food. It's going to get it worrying about losing something else.
Yeah. Worrying about unexpected occurrences, something that may just suddenly happen.
Well, Nkosi, I'm going to let you go. Oh, you might have to. Are you taking your auntie to the bus stop? Is she going back yet, or is she going back to work?
No, I think she's going back, I think next week. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. I will get this up. I will still work on last week's homework unless you've got another assignment.
Um, I would say whenever you're doing your meditations or whatever you're doing, when you find your spare time, just relax in whatever you're doing. Don't try to do, but allow things to happen. Allow, just allow. I don't know where is this directed to, but it's just coming up right now. That's just allow. Allow somehow it implies relaxation. It's just relax. But rather than trying to be somebody who's trying to do things, just allow things to happen.
Why do I feel like this is a comment on my personality?
No,
I'm kidding.
it's
I'm
not
kidding.
personal.
Okay. That's a good assignment. I like this. Okay. Thank you, Nkosi. I'll talk to you next week.
Okay, you're welcome.
Okay. Good night.